Hello everybody and welcome back to another community fortress. This one was sent in by BikerBandito on the Discord. If you would like to have a fortress if you have a fortress that you would like me to have a look at, you can do that on my Discord. Link is in the description of this video. Simply go to the DF Save sharing room and follow what everybody else has been doing. If you are using a fort, if you're building a fort with a lot of mods, please include your copy of your mods folder, as mods don't always get updated with versions of the game, which causes loading issues. So as an example, I'm running on version 40.07 or 50.07, and I've had troubles loading forts that were made on 05 with mods from 05 that have since been updated. So, yeah. Anyway, this particular fortress is this person's first fortress, and this is called Workthin. Now, they described it as a fairly realistic above-ground fort with some underground mechanical features. It's also quite a large population fort. But I have an immediate question when I jump into this fortress, which is, first off, cool look off the bat, but why are Noble wrong? Why is your bookkeeper on minimum efficiency? You want it on 5 for maximum efficiency, so you get specific numbers. It makes them take longer, but like, why not fix? Just click that button, not that button, that button. And then you'll get specific numbers for the amount of stuff you have. Just drives me nuts. So it's going to run pretty slow if I unpause it, as you can see. This is one that I'm genuinely scared of clicking on the stock screen. But it actually runs quite well, all things considered. It's got 236 dwarves, and it's a very large fortress. So running at 11 frames, I mean, it's playable. It's not great, but it's playable. So I'm just going to leave it paused for the viewing of the actual fortress itself. But these are the upper layers. Up here we have these battlements that actually have plenty of arrows stuck in them, which are pretty cool. They kind of go around and have like you know how kind of like battlements have these things that stick out. This is also one that there will be a screenshot of stone sense of this top bit at the end of the video. So if you stick around to the end, you'll see that. We have this giant raven right here who is afraid after experiencing trauma. I would be too. These are all tame giant ravens, so they've been breeding these giant ravens, which is very like witch-like. I kind of love it. Very fantastical in a good way. And as we go down, I really like this kind of structure that you've got constructed here for this outer battlement setup. I never really make battlements like this, so it's cool as heck to see. I like the use of bars and the combination of gem windows for this little, like, I guess, dining hall area here, and then library over here. I kind of curious about the fact that you're not using, no, you're not using barrels on these little stockpiles, which is interesting. I'm so used to seeing barrels in food stockpiles, it's weird to not see them. And then down here, we got a small kitchen, which is also the Barricaded Berry, which is a tavern, which desperately could use some chairs, but I'll refrain from complaining on that one. And then this over here is just a little dormitory. Of course, very well appointed with, you know, your petrified woodblock walls and cinnabar floors. Beautiful looking. Also a really nice touch is these bars around the farms. I never even thought about doing that. I might actually steal that. That's a really nice little idea. It just looks very aesthetically pleasing. And then down here we have a stray giant cave swallow. You know, I don't think I've seen a giant cave swallow yet in the game, so like that's actually really cool to see. And then, you know, we kind of got the edges of the little fort. And then if we go down one more layer, there's a very, very, very long walkway here with a really long string of traps that enemies are made to go through, and I'm assuming they fight at the end. A bunch of bits and pieces out on the surface. Really, really nice looking roads set up too. Obviously, these are just engraved floor tiles, but like they look awesome. Down here, there's a big old pile of bones that appear to have all been set to dump. I'm not sure where those came from or where those are going, but they're there. And then down here we have this very long alternative walkway. I'm assuming that they block off if enemies do get through. And then there's some sort of mashing room here with steel bridges in it. Then there's a tame jabber, which is always lovely to see, as well as a very lovely turkey, who's clearly the pet of somebody important. Then from there, we got some ramps going down this way, so I guess we'll follow those. We're going to zoom out a little bit. There's also the central staircase, so we're kind of following both and watching where they go. The ramps kind of snake then around with the staircase in the middle. And then down here we have a big old body pile. You know, you love to see it. And then there's, of course, a bridge for mashing them in the garbage dump. And then as we go further down, we hit our first big old bedroom layer with even more bodies over there. I'm assuming this will also crush all of that. The ramps keep going and more bedrooms and then permanent bedrooms for those who don't wake around the edges. Also lovely to see. And then, so I have a question. Do pumps still train strength? Because I'm not convinced that they do. But anyway, we've got a barracks up here with some, I was going to say wounded dwarves, but they appear to just be doing combat drills, as well as some humans in there as well. So you'll love to see a nice mixed fortress like this. This guy's got an impressive as hell beard. Look at that. As well as a tiny little water supply down here. You might want to set that as a water supply or something, because right now it's just a puddle. And then over here, there's a little tavern or a dining hall over on the side there. And then down here we have a big old library, which you love to see. We've got various guild halls of different professions, some offices and a tomb. You also love to see it, as well as here's where they're clearly hatching giant raven hatchlings. That is a lot of food. I don't care how many dwarves you have in a fortress, you will never need this much food. Like, just, this is spoils of the many. Like, that's just far more than you would ever need, but at this point, it doesn't matter so much. Then here's a very nice hospital setup, as well as another library with stuff around. I'm assuming that's a library. Nope, that's not a library. That's a guild hall, a doctor guild hall. I see. So the books are for aesthetics. Makes sense. And then we got various other supply stockpiles and whatnot. As we move a little further down, we've got kind of temple complex and whatnot. So if I were to say like things that I like about this fortress, I think that the area that I like most is kind of the surface. Once I get underground, everything's a little bit too blocky for my tastes, but not in a bad way. It's not my personal tastes. And then around the edges here, we've got these gem stockpiles, or like the gem zones where they're dumping gems from somewhere. I'm not totally sure how all those ended up there, but anyway, that's the trading depot. I do like the use of colors, though. It does look quite pretty. We've got various important dwarves, including this is the king's throne room, some dining halls around the edges, all dedicated to nobles with silver floors and microcline floors and tombs at the back. Very nice. Really well set up. And then this is, I guess, a artifact hall. Yes, with artifacts, and I like the microcline coffers. Those look lovely, as well as many other items to keep them safe from grabbing hands of the unwanted visitors. And then down here we have some minecart routes or I guess old abandoned minecart routes to move boulders up, I would assume. And then as we move down, we've got strip mining going on, and we can continue moving down. And then we collide with yet more bedrooms and yet more permanent sleepers for those who never wake. And then down in the lower area here, we have even more food. Even more food. I'm gonna actually unpause the game because I'm curious to see if the bookkeeper will go count these, because I want to know what these exact numbers are. A very large farm area, which is actually set to leave follow because I guess they're not currently cooking anything. Appears some people would like to stay here, and it's not my fort, so I don't care. Down here we got more bedrooms, which aren't even assigned to anybody, I don't think. Yeah, no. Well, some of them are. And then as we move a little further down or look around here, there's some more guild halls and various other spaces, as well as the Fenced Candy, a pretty good tavern name. And in the Fenced Candy is a giant bat. Aren't you cute looking? As we move down, there are elephants and, of course, giant cheetahs and giant hyenas. They must have been trading for some of these. There's no way these all just wandered in naturally. Like, I'd be curious as to where they got the giant hyenas from. I've only ever seen normal hyenas in this version. I've seen giant hyenas in the older versions. Ooh, giant pangolins. Pangolins are adorable, although those undead pangolins, definitely not something you want to get into a tussle with. As we move down, there's still some more stairs, and I kind of love the way this looks from above. This is just a beautiful cavern. I love these open cavern spaces. And then over here that's a mean little Kinder Surprise egg there. Wow, water's draining somewhere. Maybe from this well usage, perhaps. And then as we get down to the lower cavern layers, we start to see the bloodthorn trunks. And they have a good chunk that is stabilized and secured, and then can move a little further down and further down and further down and further down. And it appears that's as far as we've gone. I would love to see this fortress move all the way up to Mountain Home. I think that would be really cool and quite impressive. I think, like I said earlier, my favorite part of this fortress far and away is the surface layers. But once I get underground, it stops being the sort of thing that I want to look at aesthetically. But it's effective, it's efficient, it's pretty well packed together. Way too many items in general. Yeah, there we go. We got the proper counts now. So 76,000 drink. Yeah, that's about 70,000 more drink than you would need for this population. And also that there is about 60,000 more food than you would need for this population. I would just sell that en masse. or destroy it even. Like, you just don't need it. It's just, all it's doing is it's making your stock screen load slower. But yeah, no, a hell of an achievement of a fortress. I'm always impressed by people who can tolerate fortresses with more than 200 dwarves, because for me, like, it just kind of caps out at 150, 160 before I just kind of don't want to play the fort anymore, because it slows down. It's the way Dwarf Fortress works. It'll never fully stop. Like, fortunately, as FPS death isn't a thing anymore, but the game does slow down. And, you know, it's playable, and it's managed. If we take a real quick look at work orders, that's something else I'm a little bit curious about what's going on in here. Yeah, okay. Everything's nicely automated. They forge things as needed. Curious about how many of these function as needed, but it's probably the, where would it be? Like, repeating food order that's causing this to happen. Yeah, honestly, I would just stop brewing. I would just stop farming, stop making food altogether for a few years in this fort if I was playing it. But cool fort. Thank you very much for sending this in, BikerBandito. It's definitely like a hell of a little active design, and considering this is your first ever fortress, I think you did a fantastic job on it. So thank you very much for sharing this fortress with us and letting us have a look at it on this show. And I just want to say, if you would like to see other cool forts like this, check out this channel. We got a growing playlist of these, and if you want to support me and the stuff that I do directly, my patrons are on, and YouTube members are on the screen right now. It's $2 a month to be a YouTube member, and it just gets you a little badge and thingy next to your name. And if you're curious, check out my merchandise. I've got some pretty cool t-shirts up for sale. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.